Dream or reality? Into details as to what one publication is saying about Zubimendi and Manchester United being close to actually making a bid and even signing Zubimendi. Where did that come from? We're talking to Ugarte this morning, that loan deal, and what it opened up for Manchester United elsewhere in this window. Is it in case Manchester United are trying to build up this mega midfield and Ten Hag has got bigger plans to add serious depth for Manchester United's midfield? What does it mean for the defenders as well? We've got an update from The Athletic regarding Wan Bissaka, which it hasn't really moved far. It's a bit disappointing, to be honest. We'll get into details on that as well. Eriksen moving talks, even after his interview yesterday regarding him saying he wants to see out the last year of his contracts. There's interesting things happening there with Anderlecht we're going to talk about. Palestri again to Panathinaikos, and that moving forward now. McTominay to Fulham, a development there. Casemiro staying for definite. Plenty to get through on this midday show, guys. Please get your comments in the live section. We are going full interactive mode as well, getting your comments in. Please give the video a like. Let's get another 600 likes on this midday show, please, everybody. And while it's free content, you're liking the videos, you might as well subscribe so you don't miss any of this fantastic stuff coming up. And of course, if you're big United fans, you don't want to miss out on any news going forward with United in this window. It is ever changing, our transfer window, isn't it? We're having to deal with different stories coming out all of the time. Athletic citing Florian Plettenberg in what they're saying regarding Wan Bissaka and his move. Everything that's happening with Mazraoui pretty much is non-existent right now because of Wan Bissaka. But I'm not starting there. The main talk and focus this lunchtime is the midfield area of Manchester United looking at possibly triggering Zubimendi's release clause. We've also got a bid going in from Milan on Fofana as well. So United's other options are being sort of narrowed, you could say, when it comes to Manchester United's midfield and bringing other midfielders in, sorry, I should say. But I want to start with Zubimendi. We've talked about it a few times on the channel. How do Manchester United get him through the door? Ugarte has always been top option for United. Two similar position players. Why would we be going for both? Does it make you feel like Ugarte isn't a dead cert, even with that loan? Is that a last throw of the dice for Manchester United to try and negotiate a loan for Manuel Ugarte? I still feel positive regarding Ugarte. I think the deal will still happen with United. Obviously, we talked with Jadon Sancho earlier on as well on what's going on there. Obviously, we've still got news coming up with Christian Eriksen and McTominay in this show alone as to why Manchester United might be moving for more midfielders than what we're just talking about right now. But first of all, the story comes from TDF on Zubimendi and what's been said. Very interesting and very clear in the message here. It says, according to the report by TDF, United are one step away from signing Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi. As reported by the Manchester Evening News, took over a week ago, United have registered interest in signing the Spanish international. Yes, we have. He is on our list. TalkSport talked about that as well, and Sky have also talked about that. So plenty of people saying exactly the same thing as what's been said here. The interesting bit is at the bottom of this article, which says it is now reported the midfielder has been offered a 5-year deal at United to move to Old Trafford. The report also states that United are willing to activate Zubimendi's €60 million release clause, approx 50 mil. So that's the report coming from TDF. I'm just going to look into it to get a bit more detail now on this one, see where it's actually at, if the website actually allows me to bring it up, which it isn't because it's full of ads, and I'm just going to get rid of it there. But yeah, that's the main extract from it anyway. But looking into that, I want to get your opinions on this, guys. You look at how this was come around, how this story has materialised. Obviously, Manchester United have been looking for midfielders this window. It's been quite clear that Manchester United's focus has been in holding midfield role, and obviously Ugarte, which we know about now, Zubimendi has also jumped onto the scene over the last couple of weeks. I think Zubimendi is a better player. I've made that clear than Ugarte, but can Manchester United get both of these players through the door? You've got to think, like, why would there be people still talking about Zubimendi when we're so far, like what Romano says, down the line in the communications with Ugarte? Are Ineos and Manchester United looking again longer term with this? Another year down on his contract next summer, and Zubimendi still in his mid-20s would be a bit cheaper, maybe. More room to negotiate? I don't know. But there is an offer on the table, apparently, according to the publication, saying that United have got a contract there ready for him to go, and they're willing to meet the 50 million release clause. He's worth 50 million of anyone's money. That is a guarantee. In dealing with facts, that's 100%. But is the loan deal that Manchester United are putting in, the obligation to buy that we spoke about this morning, giving United freedom financially to actually go out and find another midfielder on top of Manuel Ugarte, is that what we're looking at here with this? I personally, like I said, I always said Zubimendi, I would take him if we could get him. I always sort of swayed towards he loves Spain. He's a one-man club at Real Sociedad. He really is going to have to get he's going to have to be convinced to come to Manchester United. Is he ever going to be willing to make that move? You'd have thought with how good he is, he would have already moved to another Spanish club or a bigger club. Maybe he doesn't want to. His allegiances lie there with Real Sociedad, and he wants to move abroad if he is going to leave Sociedad out of respect for them. Because like I said, he's come through their academy. He is a Sociedad boy, and he doesn't want to play for maybe any other Spanish team. It may be a case of that. But Manchester United are going to have to move heaven and earth to get Zubimendi through. I just look at it and go, why would you report this now? Is it simply because of the Ugarte loan situation with PSG? Is this why they're reporting this? You get into sort of the realms of, well, you need to actually look at what Manchester United need. You need to look at what players might be leaving Manchester United. It's interesting, again, another thing that sways me away from it is the story that's coming out regarding Casemiro. We'll talk about that again in a minute, but Zubimendi for Manchester United, I think it can only be simply because of what's been happening with Ugarte, and maybe United not having to spend that amount of money. If we can get 2 players through the door, then Ineos will do that for Ten Hag, because we know that we need strength in depth. We know that we need depth. Quality is what Manchester United are lacking, and in midfield we've not controlled any game. If Ten Hag is to play Ten Hag's so-called Ajax style football in controlling games, controlling tempos of games, you need someone who is good on the ball. Zubimendi is a battler. He disrupts play, he breaks play up, he then controls games from that moment, so he is a destroyer and a playmaker in one from that position. He is everything, and he would change any team. I'm surprised Manchester City haven't looked down the lines of Zubimendi. He's a perfect player for them and how they play and how Pep Guardiola wants his teams to play when you look at it from the outside anyway. So, yeah, I look at Zubimendi and I go, he's ideal for any Premier League side in what he is, how combative he is, controlling of the game, his passing quality, he's quick on the ball, he doesn't need a lot of time on the ball, he's very aware. And his discipline in position is outstanding. And that's the big lure, I think, for Zubimendi. I think that's where teams will be looking at him and going, that he gives you that little bit more. There is that little bit more zest and a little bit more swaz with Zubimendi. Ugarte gives you what it says on the tin, really. He's a destroyer. He's an absolute beast of a player. I just don't see how both of them fit in. I still think it's one or the other. But we have to talk about the reports that are going around. And we haven't bought Ugarte yet. So let's just look at it this way. You have to keep your options open. There is no guarantee, even though Romano has said that we're far down the line of negotiations, it's promising that we could probably get a loan. There's still no guarantee that we are going to definitely get him, but you always have to have a backup plan. Is United's backup plan Amrabat or a Zubimendi type of signing? Because if we don't get Ugarte, there is obviously funds there. And Manchester United, we know, are negotiating around that similar sort of price bracket for Ugarte. So if it doesn't work out for what we want to pay for Ugarte, or the loan doesn't work or something like that, Manchester United may go all in for Zubimendi. There's too many people saying exactly the same thing about the interest from the football club for him. So I cannot see United just walking away from Ugarte and not having a backup plan right now. I know we've got Amrabat. Romano has said Ugarte, Amrabat are the more favourable options for Manchester United. But we keep talking about Zubimendi. He isn't going to go anywhere unless it is a lucrative offer. And Manchester United seem to be offering these and getting players convinced more than anyone else right now in the Premier League. But again, it's a massive but. We are literally talking about it because it's there and it's news, and we haven't bought Ugarte. That's it. As soon as Ugarte goes through for me, whether it's a loan or a permanent deal, whatever it does, whatever it comes about, I think everything story-wise for other midfielders will still start to dampen down. But none of us really know what's happening behind the scenes. None of us know how negotiations are going. We just look at reports from so-called journalists, big names who people know and know well, and are quite respected in the sports media world, that they're telling us what's actually going on. We're just clinging on to it and discussing it as fans, and like what the better option would be for the football club. And I do feel like every single United fan, I think every single United fan would be more impressed if they just draw the line under Ugarte and went, do you know what, we've given everything we can. The deal isn't working. PSG are not playing ball. We're going to move and we bring in Zubimendi instead. That would impress everyone in Manchester United's fan base. That would be a killer deal. Cheers for the 100 likes as well, guys. Well over 500 in the room with us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep them likes coming in. Keep your comments coming in. And coming to the chat right now on this situation. Zubimendi, Manuel Ugarte. Talk to me as fans. Let me know how you feel, guys. Let's discuss this as United fans and where we're at right now. Danny B, Zubimendi, best in class CDM. It took a lot of convincing. He's not leaving Spain. A lot of people would agree with that one, Dan. Thanos says, for someone that played so many matches for us last season, maybe. There was no season on that, so I'll just guess that's what you meant. I'm surprised so many people would be disappointed if he stayed. Oh, right. Talking about Wan Bissaka. We are moving on to Wan Bissaka next and where we're at with that one, guys. But there is a poll running right now. Would you be disappointed if Wan Bissaka stays at Manchester United? I'll talk more about that in a minute. Should not buy players based off Copa America tournament. The main stats came through when United were interested before the Copa America started for Ugarte, to be fair. It wasn't just simply off what Ugarte did for Uruguay. There was a lot of reports of United approaching PSG before that tournament even started. So I don't think we can look at it and say we've jumped the gun after an international tournament. He has been researched, and the only reason United went in is because of the amount of game time Ugarte was getting from Enrique towards the back end of when the season was really coming to its climax for PSG and the bigger games were coming around. Ugarte seemed to disappear a little bit out of the starting lineup. I think United read into the situation, inquired, and then went in because they knew, after speaking to players' agents, speaking to representatives, that there was a possibility he might not be completely happy at PSG, and that's what United attacked. He wasn't just off the back of the Copa America. Liam says, I'm not sure if both would be best for Toby and Kobe's development in both. If both come in, Casemiro needs to be pushed out. Again, this is why I sort of look at it and go, one coming in. Two, yeah, we're all for it. We need squad depth. But two coming in definitely does hamper. I agree with the comment there regarding Collier's development at Manchester United. 100% it would hamper him. Afternoon, Adam. Like that New Balance shirt. Thank you, mate. Thank you. One of my gym shirts. Smack the like button, says Cornish. Yes, please. Brandon says, Zubimendi is not coming. Trust that is happening. Kind of get what you said there. Typo Central, maybe. Maybe Zubimendi is not coming. Trust that is not that is happening. I'm not sure, mate. I sort of get what you mean there, though. I've said it before, like, it is a hard sell to get Zubimendi out of Sociedad. But if United fail with Ugarte, then the pressure is going to be really on for us to actually get another midfielder in. And Zubimendi is one of them. If we got him done, then wow, yes. Don't see Zubimendi leaving Spain, says Macmillan. The transfer window for all clubs has been terrible this summer. It has, Malps. But again, people are ignoring financial fair play and think that deals should be just happening left, right and centre. It has got a vice grip hold on all Premier League football clubs right now. Financial fair play and PSR. Everyone needs to realise how difficult a situation it is with PSR right now. You cannot, after what happened with Forest and Everton, go in all bullish into a transfer window anymore. You can't. I think the proof was there last season that the Premier League will come down hard. By the way, still waiting to hear what's happening with City in the Premier League. How long ago was that? That was in May. So, yeah, what is going on there? Please, someone from the Premier League enlighten the rest of the league and all the other members in it about what is happening with City. Have you buckled, and is this why it's all gone a little bit quiet? Injury update on Euro and Rasmus. Still no massive one on Euro. More on a possible hairline fracture with him, maybe getting him out for 4 to 5 weeks. Rasmus, like we've said, was in training the other day, so precautionary hamstring issue. Keith says, could you summarise departures we've made? Quite simple, mate. Yes, we got rid of Cambuella. We got rid of Mason Greenwood. We made round about 30 odd million on both of them. We also got rid of Donny van der Beek for $500,000, going up to possibly 12. Can't see 12, but the first part of the add-ons for Donny was about 5 million. Obviously, Brandon Williams was released, Anthony Martial was released, Rafael Varane was released. United have saved an absolute fortune in wages off the players that we've got rid of off the books, which is definitely helping financial fair play, but still looking to move more players on. But yeah, not a bad start for getting players out, and everyone now is like, right, what's the next stage? Because it's gone quiet. After Euro and the exit of Greenwood, which all happened in the same week, and was getting a little bit excited, it's gone a little bit quiet. Yes, the tour is happening, and that does take preference. Deals are still being done while we're on tour, but still, right now, everyone is just taking stock of what they've got. And like the comment said a minute ago, everyone's window has been hampered by PSR, and everyone has to be extra careful with the players that they're bringing in. Mark Lambridge in with a chat. Cheers, Mark. Says, financial fair play points deduction would have changed how we all finished last season if applied to just one club. That is how tight it will be this year. Well said, and definitely true on that one. It is. Kenny Fan TV. Man City, these cheating scumbags need to get relegated. I don't think it's going to happen, mate. The longer it goes on, I think the more in favour it looks for Manchester City on that one. Why wait until November for the City court case? Because that's what's been stated and that's what's going to happen. There's nothing else we can do about it. We just have to go along with what's going on. Let's get the likes up, guys. We're on 150. You're doing a great job so far. Keep them likes coming in. Keep your comments coming in. What about the 7 players out so far, says Jonathan. 7 players out, as in the ones I just mentioned. I think that's what you mean, Jonathan. Just put another comment in just to make sure I am right on that and what you're saying. All right, to you as well, Callum. Hope you're doing well, pal. Yeah, moving on to what's happening with Aaron Wan Bissaka. We said this morning that Florian Plettenberg had dampened the mood regarding Mazraoui, simply because we know Mazraoui needs to be told, Wan Bissaka to be told by Manchester United for this deal to go forward. West Ham make no progress in the quest to agree Wan Bissaka fee. And that's coming from The Athletic. The story reads, according to a report in The Athletic, there has been no progress in West Ham United's attempt to agree a fee even with Manchester United for right-back Aaron Wan Bissaka. The Hammers are keen to recruit the former Crystal Palace defender to strengthen their defensive options. United want to try and offload Wan Bissaka to make room for Bayern Munich's Noussair Mazraoui. United are understood to be optimistic about getting a deal over the line for Mazraoui, who worked with Erik ten HAG at Ajax. So yeah, that was just a small little snippet from the Athletics report on where we're at with Wan Bissaka right now, which isn't much further down the line. And it tends to make you feel like, right, okay, that's another player that, yes, United are trying to actively move on. Yes, United have got a player ready to come in and replace him. But as long as the player wants to play hardball, wants to just stay at Manchester United, he will stay. He has got a contract which will keep him at Manchester United, no matter what anyone else says or what anyone negotiates on his part. And he can just walk away next year for free if he wants to. I believe that he will want to be playing football and this deal will still go through. We just have to be realistic again with taking everything into consideration with any deal that we're making. It takes time, especially if the player isn't keen on moving. We heard that he wanted to go to Milan. We heard that he wanted to stay in London. There's been massively contrasting reports regarding Aaron Wan Bissaka and where he actually does feel comfortable in playing his football next season. So while all that is going on, we're guessing really as fans, and we're waiting for more news, more hardcore news to come out. But The Athletic have cited what we said this morning regarding Sky Germany's Florian Plettenberg regarding Wan Bissaka and where we're at with that deal, and that is that Manchester United have everything else agreed from the Bayern side, but Wan Bissaka still is nowhere near agreement for moving to West Ham. And maybe Wan Bissaka is stalling to get another move or another bid coming from Italy. We can only talk about what has been written, and that's what's been written with it. I don't know, like, I mean, in terms of the poll, just so you're at, would you be disappointed if Wan Bissaka ended up staying at United? I always thought he was quite favourable at the football club, but 56% of you, with well over 500 of the votes in, 55% of you are saying that you'd be disappointed if Wan Bissaka actually wasn't sold now. That's interesting reading, very interesting reading, because I don't think most people would be that bothered if he did stay. I think a few people have been watching Mazraoui clips now and watching a bit more about him and what he could possibly bring. But what you need to remember with Mazraoui also is that he is going to be playing behind Diogo Dalot still. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter what you're watching with Mazraoui. United are buying him for depth. I just cannot see Erik ten Hag dropping Diogo Dalot for Mazraoui. I cannot see it happening. But, hey, look, stranger things have happened with United. And like I've always said, never say never with anything in terms of players coming in, who could be benched, anything. Ten Hag is under pressure this season and we need results. So maybe if push comes to shove, he will go with a different option or someone that he knows he can trust more. I just can't see it with how much Dalot has improved. Graham says, I would assume City is off the hook because of the length of time taken to get to a hearing. Look, the hearing regarding City and their contractual sort of money that's coming in through their own business partners. So the one that they're taking the Premier League to court for, I think they're possibly just going to come to an agreement with that somehow. I don't know. In terms of City's charges, that is still going on. Whether or not something's been negotiated behind the scenes to let both sides off the hook here, I do not know. But we will see in time. We thought we would have known over a month ago now, but we're not. It's crazy right now. Keep your comments coming in. I'm going to get through some of them now. Obviously, this morning we did the quickfire show. We don't get a chance to speak to as many of you in there, so I'm going to take that opportunity now. Dalot is very overhyped amongst the fan base. One good cross out of 99. Defensively, not smart, says Mason. Donnell says, yes, we need more going forward. So if Wan Bissaka leaves, wish him all the best. Cabello says, how can this say gets them both when you know United's financial situation? Some of these stories don't make sense. Look, you can look at them as not making sense, mate, but at the end of the day, if United get Ugarte on loan, they've not forked out a fee this summer, and they can go out and spend that money that they've got aside or we're willing to pay PSG for. So you have to look at it. There's an element of truth to it, and we all know that United have got Zubimendi on their list of targets. If you can get two for the price of one, essentially, and then have to pay for the other one next summer, or even structure a deal over installments next summer and not have to worry about it this summer, then you can definitely get to work on other players as well. Super chat in from Mark. Do a poll on who starts, Maz or Dalot at right back. Yeah, that's an interesting one, actually. I think I might pop that up. Just on request from the super chats. I'm going to end that poll now. I'll start a new one. Who would start? Good shout from Mark. Right, let me get this in, guys. Who would start at right back next season? Let's give you both options. Mazraoui or... Oh, sorry, I was going to put Wan Bissaka then. Never mind. Sorry, Aaron. Okay, poll is up, guys. Let me know where you're at. Previous poll finished. 55% of you would be disappointed if Wan Bissaka now wouldn't be sold by Manchester United. And I've now got a poll up asking you guys who would start at right back next season if everything went according to plan. Manchester United bought Mazraoui in, Wan Bissaka left the football club. Your two available right backs are Dalot and Mazraoui. Who is starting for you at right back next season? I'll let that run for a bit and see how everyone goes with that. Rabiot to Chelsea, true or not? Hopefully true. They can have him. The worrying one is that they're looking to take Osimhen to Chelsea. And now Chelsea were playing well the back end of last season. And then if you bring in a decent striker for them, then Chelsea become a different animal altogether again, don't they? So, yeah. That was a more worrying one, I think, Babs, on that. Derek says, the question is, how does Aaron Wan Bissaka play in high line? Because we've not seen the high line definitely yet. No, we've not, Derek. Henry says, the FA have shot themselves in the foot, making it difficult for clubs regarding financial fair play. So the clubs in the lower divisions will get nothing from the Premier League clubs. Am I right, Adam? The money always filters down. And like you said, if the big clubs haven't got a lot of money to spend, then yes, that money will not filter down as easily to the smaller clubs. You're not going to go out of your way taking a risk on a League One or Championship player if you've only got a certain amount of money to spend. You would probably look towards buying the ready-made Premier League experienced or the higher level experienced player. You're not going to take as much of a risk, are you, if your financials are sort of tied up or you're not allowed to spend as much. I would say you're swaying more towards the dead cert rather than taking the risk. So there is a point to that, Henry, yes. The Muppet Show. Hi, Adam. How much more time have we got to get in the signings? We need to get them integrated into the team and sales done before it starts to get too close to the end of the window, in your opinion. Look, in terms of integrating the players in, we're done. There's no chance you can integrate them into a team now, because the team out in the States is what it is. 2 more games there, and no one is going to be sent out on to the tour at this point. So anyone brought in, I don't think they would go out on tour now, considering there's less than a week left. You're not going to send someone out to acclimatise quickly to that time difference and then come back and scupper all of that. Hence why Xerxes is training at Carrington on his own. He won't be sent out to the tour. It will be the same with anyone else coming in right now. All the players coming back from international duty will go straight to Carrington. So in terms of players coming in, that time has passed, mate. Euro, that's the only one we're going to see, and now he's injured, so we've seen a couple of appearances from him this pre-season. Look, anyone coming in now, you're probably looking towards the City game for maybe getting some game time for Manchester United, if we did sign anyone at this point. Xerxes will have to wait till the City game as well. And then week after that, we're into the season. So the time has passed, mate. But what you have to look at with that is, yeah, that's United. It does look disappointing, but let's not forget that's the rest of the league also in that same situation. So not just United that are dealing with not being able to get players in early in the transfer window. They, right now, are being forced into waiting and seeing out the whole transfer window, trying to get deals where they can. Wheeling and dealing, selling players to buy players. They have to be very, very careful. And you can see it, because this summer window has been pretty boring, hasn't it? For every single club. City haven't bought anyone. Liverpool haven't bought anyone. Arsenal have only just bought Calafiori in now. That's their first. So you're looking at that. You look at the top 4. Liverpool, none. City, none of significance. Arsenal, 1. And then Aston Villa are probably the ones that have made the biggest moves so far this summer. But that's because they're in the Champions League and they run quite well. They have big gate receipts and their finances are in a pretty decent state at the moment. So, yeah, I feel like right now you look at Newcastle, they can't bring anyone else in. Chelsea, nothing of any significance yet either for them. It's tight. It's really tight. And considering where Manchester United are financially, I think we've not done too bad this window. Aaron Wan Bissaka is Bambi on ice going forward and is a one-trick pony. I love him, but he doesn't progress us as a club. Don't challenge Arsenal and Manchester City, etc. with Aaron Wan Bissaka. That's from Macmillan YouTube. Right backs don't win Premier League titles, says Jay. Charles says, greetings Adam and Kaz. Greetings to you too, mate. Christopher Hooper says to Graham, they get a fine, that will be it, but they should have the same punishment as Rangers and Juve, in my opinion, and not a fine. People talking about Manchester City's plight and their their argument and case with the Premier League. Xerxes was in Vegas. Surely he could have joined up. No, was never the plan and was never going to, apparently, Mark. He was always going to be sent back to Manchester. He was in Vegas training. Kobe Mainoo is in Los Angeles, obviously, doing his time. I don't know if he'll get any games out. If he hasn't trained with the first team, you've got no chance of anyone else getting game time in America now. Look, we've got a game on Thursday, and I think the other game is on Sunday, and then they fly home. there's no sign of anyone else joining up with the squad or any new signings coming in before Thursday. We have to wait till the Manchester derby. That is it for anyone coming through and making any appearances for United. 200 likes, thank you guys. Really appreciate that. Keep them likes coming in. Let's see if we can get up close to that 300 mark before we finish up while we're live, guys. Keep them likes coming in. Share the video. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well, everyone. Right, let's move on to other news, and that would be Christian Eriksen. Now, he has been talking, obviously, about his time at Manchester United. We did a piece on Eriksen the other day where we were talking about his options to leave, and Manchester United valuing him at around about £4 million, and whether we thought that was big enough or not. He's since come out and done an interview, I think it was yesterday, and a lot of journalists have said that they're from the interview, Eriksen was saying that he wants and is expected to see out his final year of his contract at Manchester United. So, yeah, that will be interesting. The Anderlecht boss has been talking about Christian Eriksen and definitely hasn't ruled out a move for Eriksen. Anderlecht head coach Brian Riemer has not dismissed the prospect of the Belgian club swooping for United midfielder Christian Eriksen before the end of this summer's transfer window. Riemer worked with Eriksen at Brentford prior to the latter joining United in July 2022. The Dane struggled for game time in the second half of last season and has been linked with an exit from Old Trafford ahead of his contract expiring next summer. Riemer has admitted that he exchanges messages with Eriksen, but nothing is currently in the works to take him to Anderlecht. He's told them he's gone into a bit more detail with him as well. So again, it comes into a transfer window that he's going to run all the way through till deadline. In terms of like the question that was asked a minute ago regarding integration and getting players through the door and giving them a chance to learn about their teammates and things like that, every team is dealing with the same old shit, I think, this summer, and not going to get that opportunity. You just got to get players in as and when you can up until the end of the window. Christian Eriksen falls into that bracket, I feel, as yes, he's saying all the right things now. United are saying that they're not actively trying to force him out of the door. He's got one more year left. If Ineos can make money on Eriksen this summer, even if it is a small amount of $4 million, they're going to jump at the opportunity because he is a player that Manchester United don't see as vital to the cause right now. Yes, quality and depth, we've spoken about that, but honestly, you could play Ahmad at 10 behind Bruno or Mount behind Bruno, and then you've got to add to the equation Bruno's fantastic injury record. He's never unfit, he's never injured, he's the captain. Ten Hag has never dropped him before. So where are you putting Christian Eriksen in? You shoehorn him into a position that he's probably not the best at, and he's not going to be able to give his best results in. So what's the point? Christian Eriksen can be moved on. Whether or not someone comes in and offers money knowing that he's going to be free next year is a different situation altogether, and I think that's why Christian Eriksen is probably talking in a way where he's expecting to see out his contract right now, because even he knows that as a player, the age he is, what money he's on, no one is really going to come in, and obviously he's not going to get a big contract now before he retires, and this is his last big contract. So that big chunk of change, what was it, 7.8 million a year that Christian Eriksen is on, he's probably looking at that and going, I'd probably save that actually. So unless Manchester United try and actively move me out, I ain't going to be putting in any request or wanting to move anywhere. Scott McTominay, you could say, is in the same boat. Sky came out, it was mainly yesterday but going into last night as well, that even though they're buying Emile Smith-Rowe, Fulham, they will be going back in, according to Sky, with another bid for Scott McTominay, which is interesting, which is probably why we're actually seeing the bid numbers and the value of them bids being around the £17 million mark reportedly, because they've already spent a big chunk of what they've got budget-wise, Fulham, if they do buy Emile Smith-Rowe from Arsenal. They're looking to completely re-bolster their midfield by bringing in not just one, but two players. So Smith-Rowe, Scott McTominay, both coming in for Fulham, or they want both players. Whether or not, with having spent that money on Smith-Rowe, that they can get anywhere near United's valuation of Scott, what will United drop to? Honestly, with like what we were talking about with Ugarte, Zubimendi, Amrabat, all of the other players that United are looking at in midfield, like United just cannot say yes, definitely going to Scott McTominay at the moment because of that, because of the uncertainty of whether or not we're going to actually need squad depth, and Scott does play into that. So yeah, that's where we're at with McTominay and Christian Eriksen right now. More reports regarding Casemiro, completely going along the lines of what was said before, that there is no chance that Casemiro is going to leave Manchester United this summer. We are going to get a third year out of Casemiro, and a lot of people will be disappointed with not being able to move him on, because I think after this summer we really are going to be struggling to move a player on with I think he's got 1 year left, is it? A 5-year deal? I'll have to double check his contract again. Actually, I think he has got a 5-year deal. It's 4 or 5 for Casemiro, but into his 3rd year now. Obviously they are well into his 30s. You're not going to get anywhere near the same amount you might have been able to get this summer, next summer, if you get what I mean. So you're pretty much saying that Casemiro, that's it. He stays at Manchester United, not just for the foreseeable, but for the future as well, because who is going to buy him? Who is going to bid for Casemiro at the age he is? Madness. But again, because of the wages he's on and the deal that was structured by the former regime, that's what we're dealing with. Simple. Simples. Can't depend on Mainu alone, says Mason. 4th medical this week. Who's injured now? Says Dennis S. Madison. So Fulham signed Smith Rowe, who hasn't played for 2 years, for 35 million, but they're offering 17 million for Scott McTominay. Yes, basically, in a nutshell, that is exactly where we're at with the bid from Fulham for Scott McTominay. Anthony says 25 million for Scott McTominay. Surely there's a club willing to pay that. The guy will get you goals and his wages are affordable. Agreed. But again, financial fair play is definitely gripping the Premier League, unfortunately. Dallo will probably start the season as left back. Shaw is out with getting injured eating his breakfast, says Jason. Shaw's got to be back. He'll be back in training next week anyway. Elite Baller, that's what I mean. Arsenal stole that money from Fulham regarding Smith Rowe. Ramos says, what's the point of having structure but we still struggle selling Deadwood and keep targeting ex-Ten Hag players? Targeting ex-Ten Hag players, yes, that's one thing. In terms of Deadwood, I've said it many a times before, there's nothing else that Manchester United can do right now. The deals are hampering the club, moving them on. So you got to look at it with your reality cap on and say, look, we can only do so much. And so much is trying to get out players that are probably in the last year of the contract, just getting them off the books, selling them cheap. We're finding it difficult. We've always known that this was going to be difficult for United to actually do and get past this pre-season. And now we're in the middle of it. We can see it for everything it is, which is a bleeding nightmare, it would seem. So yeah, Casemiro we thought was going, is not. Obviously, we thought we were going to get rid of Jadon Sancho. That's still in the open. Luckily, we managed to get Greenwood off the books and out of here, gone. That's one good thing at least. I didn't expect Cambuala to be leaving, but he is gone. The rest now, Scott McTominay, 1 year left. Maguire, 1 year left. I can see them hanging around. They're just watching everything unfold right now and just rubbing their hands together saying, look, we don't have to do anything. We are quite comfortable here right now, and I don't think there's anything that the club can do. They will be moved on if the club want them to, but that all comes down to whether Manchester United can negotiate good deals for the likes of Ugarte, or if it is Zubimendi or Amrabat coming back into the club. So, yeah, it is all vesting on players leaving for players coming in. United do look like they're trying to make sure that the players that they're looking at to bring in are actually very comfortable and they can bank on them players coming in. Like, they have to be confident. And quite clearly, like, you're already put the money straight up for. Zirk said they were very confident with. I don't think they was confident with the likes of Ugarte, personally. And they're just playing it very, very careful. Like, no one else has been moved on at all from the midfield. Players that we thought were destined to leave are still here. So that's where we're at right now. I do think that Manchester United's transfer window will just kick into overdrive again once we get some form of confirmation. Like Romano said, it's going to be an absolutely crazy week we will see what that means, whether or not that's an Ugarte bid going in. Plenty of time left within the week from them negotiations, whether it's Sancho leaving, whether or not Wan Bissaka is confirmed, Mazraoui comes in. Very, very busy week, yes. But all of them deals could still come a cropper and might not happen. But hey. Mazraoui will be at left back, says the lawman. Let's see what else we've got in the chat. Goals for a better midfielder who can score set pieces and deliver crosses from the corner. Offer West Ham McTominay for Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse has only just gone. I don't see him going. And no, that ship sailed a long time ago for Ward-Prowse and Manchester United. That pretty much is everything up to date, guys. We are done, finished, midday show wrapped up. Thank you so much, everybody, for getting involved again. Great comments as always, everyone. Please give the video a like on the way out. Make sure that you have hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss anything that is happening around Manchester United. We got you covered. Free content. You might as well hit that subscribe button so you are up to date with everything going on. It's good to be back in the studio. 2 live shows again. Obviously, beforehand, we were doing pre-records while I was out having a break in Spain, but back to the normal routine now, guys. And again, thank you all for tuning in. Quickly on the poll, who would you start at right back if we bought Mazraoui in? And 67% of you guys have gone with Diogo Dalot. So, as you were for the start of the season, it would seem. But yes, guys, that is us all finished. Thank you, everybody. I will see you all later on at 6:30. Make sure you tuned in. Notifications are on. And we'll bring you all Manchester United updates then as well. Cheers, everybody. I will see